Florida say 99% of people are already good to go, but that's not the case everywhere, with over a dozen states less than 50% compliant with the law. And there's an easy way to check. You just have to look for that gold star at the corner of your driver's license. Justin.
Angie, a reminder, News 6 Mornings continues at 7 o'clock on our streaming channel, News 6 Plus. You can download it for free right now on your smart TV. Michelle.
And it's a dry start to our morning across central Florida. Rain chances go up to 40% later on today, but it's going to get hot before the rain moves in with a high of 90. Rain chances stay high through the rest of the work week, lasting into the weekend, but at least the rain will cool us down some as we go through our Saturday and Sunday in the lower to middle 80s. Steve?
No one can complain about it, right? We've been asking for that rain, so it's here.
I could kind of complain about it.
Yeah, right, we can,
we can, but we're not going to do it.
Southbound Turnpike, we are watching this crash that's causing a few mile backup there. It's right there at I-4. 2 left lanes are currently blocked. Please be careful as you're cruising through this area.
All right. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our News 6 Plus app for your TV.
We'll see you coming up next on News 6 Plus. Have a great day.
It's gonna rain.
Now on News 6, the deadline to get a real ID is tomorrow. What the TSA wants you to know before you travel. Plus, will tariffs impact your Mother's Day purchases? The popular gift that could be a little more expensive this year. And rain chances finally return this week. We'll pinpoint everything on the way. This is News 6 Mornings.
Hey, good morning on your Tuesday. It's 7 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Justin Mormouth. Trooper Steve here, watching the roads
Hello.
as always. And meteorologist Michelle Morgan's in for Candace with your forecast. Got some more rain chances today.
Yeah.
We like that.
We do like that.
We need it.
We need it.
Yeah.
She's trying to keep a straight face. Like, yeah, we like it. Yay.
We do.
Some of us do.
Yippee.
I mean, I'd hate if I had like plans to go to Disney today or something. But
Well, you know, it just
we going.
it depends. Yeah, you know, Crystal's down
pay
for the
that money,
cause.
we
yes.
are going.
So whatever you're doing today, the first half of the day will be nice and dry. Rain chances go up later on this afternoon to 40%, and all will be sea breeze driven, and a few isolated thunderstorms are possible, producing heavy rain at times. But before the rain moves in, it is going to get very hot. We're talking about lower 90s across our inland spots and middle to upper 80s along our coastline. And it looks like the rain chances, well, at least high rain chances, will stick around at least for the next several days. So we are looking at some rain in the forecast heading into the weekend as well. But for now, temperatures are nice and mild. We're starting off at 72 in Leesburg. Good morning. 67 in the Villages, 68 in Orlando, Sanford at 66 and 68 degrees in Bithlo. Now, taking a look at your hour-by-hour forecast, this is featuring my pet of the hour. Again, if you are heading out, about to take your dog out for a walk, the weather is gorgeous. We're looking at plenty of sunshine mixing with some clouds. We're at 81 around 11, 86 around 1, and then rain chances going up to 40%. And of course, you can send in your pics into me on clickorlando.com/pins, and of course, I will feature them. So coming up in a bit, we'll talk more about the timing and how much rain to expect where you live. But now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
That dog looks just so regal. And it's such a presence, right? All right, what doesn't have a presence is I-4. Really never does. I-4 out here at Champions Gate. Listen, we're out here patrolling yesterday live during our stream. And it is just a completely different personality. It's like it went off to a summer camp and learned a lot. And it came back, and it's just treating us a little different right now. Has an extra left travel lane, so they did expand the travel lane out here. Moving traffic, we're doing real nice. There is a disabled vehicle off to the side, but no reported crashes. And you're clear all the way up to almost Osceola Parkway, and then it's going to slow down just a little bit. Where our problems are this morning is southbound Turnpike right here at I-4. You have 2 left lanes blocked at I-4, just south there of the exit ramps. You can see that traffic building up really bumper to bumper, and at this point, we're backed up to Turkey Lake Service Plaza. Guys, back to you.
all right, thank you for the update, Steve. Right now, a crime alert. Sanford Police putting out this video here that shows the shooting of a teen right in the middle of a neighborhood. The whole thing happened last year, but now investigators are hoping someone will see this and lead them to those responsible. News 6's Mark Lehman following the new developments live for us this morning, and the video is quite disturbing, Mark.
It's very unsettling. We're seeing the panic that sets in for one of the victims as she runs for her life outside of a home. Since this happened, Sanford police haven't been able to make an arrest, and now they're hoping the release of this video will help them track down a shooter.
More than a year into the investigation, we're getting a look at the terrifying moments of a drive-by shooting in Sanford that left 2 people hurt, including a 17-year-old girl who was shot in the head. It was late April 2024 when one of the victims took off running at a home on Scott Drive as bullets were hitting the ground. The gunfire coming from a red SUV, which police say had 4 people inside. Investigators also releasing this clip from an apartment complex where they say 3 suspects got out of the SUV. At the time of the shooting, detectives said they believe the drive-by may have been retaliation for a shooting a few hours earlier where a 16-year-old boy was injured. The violence also happened as Sanford police were investigating a rash of shootings. Weeks earlier, 17-year-old Cedarian Cosby was killed near the same area on Scott Drive. That same month, 10 people were hurt in a shooting that unfolded at the Cabana Live event venue near Lake Monroe.
Now, as for the drive-by shooting, investigators say that they've identified people of interest and are pursuing leads, but still need help in tracking down the shooter in this case. Anyone with details on the people who were inside that SUV is urged to call Sanford Police or Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. Live in Sanford, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thanks. Meantime, take a look at this video over here in studio showing another scary scene after gunfire during an after-prom party left 3 Osceola High School students hurt. This happened early Sunday in Davenport. The sheriff says more than 100 teens had gathered in a parking lot of a condo complex when there was some kind of fight that broke out and possibly 3 of them started shooting. The victims were all sitting in a car at the time. 2 ended up grazed by bullets. The third, an 18-year-old, got debris in his eye, and according to the sheriff, may lose sight in that eye.
And my concern is somebody had a shootout in a parking lot full of kids. That's not acceptable. We're not accepting that.
After this all happened, cars were seen speeding off. The sheriff says he's not getting much help when it comes to tracking down suspects.
Breaking overnight, a fire at a recycling facility causing problems in parts of Central Florida. The fire broke out last night on East Land Street Road, not far from Orange Avenue. But some people as far away as Seminole County say there was a burning rubber smell in the air. Firefighters think the fire in Orange County is to blame for that, and they're asking people not to call 911 unless they see visible flames or a column of smoke. Opening statements are set for later this morning at the trial of a former Brevard County teacher accused of being drunk at a house party full of teens. Carly Anderson is facing multiple charges, including disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer. It took all day yesterday to seat a jury, with many of them saying that they had heard about the case or they saw the body camera video showing Anderson yelling at first responders after they arrived at the scene back in January. The judge expects the trial will wrap up by tomorrow.
A Brevard County man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend's aunt is now facing the death penalty. The state announced yesterday they will seek capital punishment in the case against David Barber. He's accused of killing 72-year-old Jessie Kirk earlier this year. She was reported missing after failing to show up for a morning walk with a friend. Her body was later found near the Haulover Canal. Investigators say on the day Kirk disappeared, Barber was seen walking around her condo and smelled of bleach and cleaning chemicals.
Right now, the clock is ticking. Just one day to go before what's known as the Real ID deadline across the U.S. That means if you don't have the new enhanced form of identification, you won't be able to fly.
And as of just a few days ago, some states were less than 20% compliant. News 6's Angie Casada is live at Orlando International Airport this morning. And Angie, what do people need to know about this?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, if you're flying out of Central Florida and you don't have this Real ID, time is of the essence. Listen, the deadline is happening. That's tomorrow. You're going to probably be waiting in a line way longer than this because TSA says you will not be allowed through security without one unless you have a valid passport or military ID. And while Florida is in great shape, many travelers from out of state could be in for a rude awakening. Starting Wednesday, it won't matter how early you got to the airport. If you don't have a Real ID, you're not getting past TSA.
If you're planning to travel May 7th and beyond, you need to have a Real ID compliant identification or another acceptable form of ID. The most common is U.S. passport to be able to travel without any kind of delays or anything at the security checkpoint.
The Real ID law was passed after 9/11, but enforcement was delayed for years. Now there's no more wiggle room.
It's the start, right?
Yeah.
At this point, it's been a lot of traffic at the DMV, and when we go, it's just a lot of traffic. So just the convenience of trying to get it.
But are you hoping to get it soon?
I'm hoping so, because I like to travel. My family like to travel, so we definitely need it.
I got it over the summer. I moved back to Missouri from Massachusetts, and I had to get a new ID and just went for it because I knew it was coming, so.
The good news, Florida is ready. The state is more than 99% compliant, meaning nearly everyone with a Florida license is good to go. But a lot of other states, not so much, with a majority of the states falling below 50% in compliance. TSA tells News 6 it's expecting backups and confusion across the country, especially with tourists flying in and out of Orlando. So before you pack those bags, make sure to check your ID. If it doesn't have a star in the top right corner, it's not a Real ID. Your best bet right now is a passport or head to the DMV fast. Of course, TSA says that they're going to be staffing up extra people, and they're expecting those long lines and a lot of people confused. Reporting from the Orlando International Airport, Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, Angie, thank you. Right now, final preparations are being made at the Vatican ahead of tomorrow's conclave. It's the process in which cardinals select a new pope, and as part of the centuries-old tradition, all Vatican personnel involved in that conclave must take an oath of secrecy. If that's violated, they could face excommunication. So the oath includes everyone from the cooks to the nurses to security officers. Nearly 135 cardinal electors will gather in the Sistine Chapel starting tomorrow to vote in secret for Pope Francis's successor.
In Volusia County, Deltona city leaders have voted to accept the first part of a $6 million grant from FEMA to raise a part of El Camp Boulevard. The goal is to prevent scenes like this, flooding that has left the road underwater during recent storms and hurricanes. The project is expected to cost around $6 million, with FEMA covering 75% of it. Once a design is agreed on, construction could take another year and a half. Oh, construction, Michelle. That also depends on the weather, right?
Yes.
A year and a half can turn into 2 years very quickly.
Or maybe longer than that. You just never know. Especially with the rain, that can definitely delay stuff. And once again, we are looking at scattered rain in the forecast today, which it will be beneficial to the drought situation that we've been dealing with. But for now, it is a dry start, pleasant start as well. We're in the upper 60s in Orlando and Kissimmee. Good morning. 72 in Leesburg, 67 in the Villages, and 67 in Palm Coast. Dealing with a mix of sunshine and clouds right now. But I do think most of the morning will remain dry. We're at 78 around 10, 83 around noon, and then rain chances continuing to go up to 40% this afternoon, but it is going to get hot with daytime highs in the upper 90s, especially across our inland spots. So just giving you a timing on the rain here, we're looking at a 20% chance for isolated showers as we go through noon, through the 1 o'clock hour, and then rain chances going up to 40% as we wrap up the rest of the day, lasting into tonight. We are looking at on and off rain, and a few embedded thunderstorms are certainly possible. Now, here are your highs. We're looking at 90 in DeLand and Sanford, 91 in Ocala, and then our coastal areas climbing into the middle 80s, upper 80s in Titusville. So more rain is on the way as we wrap up the rest of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit. But now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Speaking of construction zones, we've got a disabled vehicle situation out here. I-4 eastbound at the 58, talking about Champions Gate. Of course, something's going to happen. But look, what is not happening? Yes, we've got lights flashing, 3 vehicles on the shoulder out in the construction zone, but traffic is moving fine out here. All the lanes are there, just cruising nice and easy all the way up towards US 192. You'll come up to a sudden slowdown and then you'll be good to go. Southbound along the Florida Turnpike, still watching this crash. We are so delayed right now. I'm going to put in a 15-minute traffic warning right now. So if you have to head towards I-4 out here, you can make some choices. It depends on where you want to go. Maybe you travel a little further south there, you take 408, or further there and take 528. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 712, you've probably heard the saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Well, one organization is using that saying to help raise awareness. Coming up, how some people are turning old grocery bags and packaging into some runway-worthy designs.
First, though, a high-stakes meeting at the White House is expected to meet with President Trump today amid a trade war triggered by tariffs.
Happening today, a high-stakes meeting at the White House as President Trump hosts the Prime Minister of Canada. The big focus of the discussion expected to center around the ongoing trade war. This will be the first meeting between the president and Mark Carney amid the growing battle over tariffs. Canada has been hit hard by the increased fees and in return has slapped counter tariffs on billions of dollars worth of U.S. goods. Now those on both sides are hoping today's meeting will lead to some kind of deal.
I'm not sure what he wants to see me about, but I guess he wants to make a deal.
Under President Trump's executive orders, the U.S. now charges 25% tariffs for importing Canadian steel, aluminum, and vehicles. In response, Canada now charges retaliatory duties on some U.S. exports.
New this morning, a confrontation over a parking ticket lands an Orlando man behind bars, and you got to see this. The whole thing was caught on camera.
So I'm an hour late. I got to pay $53
Sorry.
That's bull.
Don't make.
Take your ticket.
Cocoa Beach police say that is 55-year-old Scott Neal arguing, then throwing a paper citation at that parking enforcement specialist, hitting the 80-year-old man in the face. It happened Saturday afternoon near the east end of Pulsifer Avenue. Investigators say Neal originally drove off, but was later stopped by troopers and arrested on multiple charges.
It was just a ticket, man. Calm down. Well, water bottles and shopping bags end up in landfills, but what if I told you they could be turned into some fashionable clothing? New this morning, I found out some people are doing just that to raise awareness and money for a good cause.
So here we have grocery bags and plastics that we use in packaging, like mailers, plastic mailers. I paper mache them using flour and water.
Italia Elisea has spent months working on this dress using materials many would consider trash.
This is Coke bottle packaging, and then this is actually when you buy something big. Recently I bought a treadmill. This is like the straps that hold it together to use as boning in the corset.
She'll be showing off her completed look at the 10th annual Trash to Trends fashion show at the Orlando Science Center. Keep Orlando Beautiful and Goodwill teaming up to promote sustainability and raise money for community initiatives geared towards solutions to the growing waste problem. Trash filling landfills and ending up in places like this, Eagle Nest Park in Orlando.
When you see all this trash sitting out here, plastic bags in a nice park, I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so when I see all of these single-use plastics at a park like this, it just reminds me of our addiction to single-use plastics as a culture.
Yeah.
It is pretty much pervasive.
Instead of just talking trash, rolling out a unique way to bring awareness. More than 20 artists like Lindsay Agnew giving trash new life.
So this outfit is called the grocery statement.
Hundreds of shopping bags from different stores repurposed.
Each layer of the material is 6 trash bags meshed together and ironed.
The runway opening Wednesday for Trash to Trends, hoping to inspire guests to reduce, reuse, and recycle.
The 3 R's. Well, Trash to Trends takes place tomorrow at the Orlando Science Center and includes dinner, the fashion show, and access to the exhibits there. I posted ticket information on clickorlando.com/insider.
A young boy in Kentucky is in a little bit of trouble this morning after making a rather large purchase. The 8-year-old ordered 70,000 lollipops using his mother's Amazon account. So Mom says that she tried to stop the order before it was delivered. It's too late though. Originally, she was on the hook for more than $4,000 worth of Dum Dum suckers. In a Facebook post though, she said that Amazon ended up giving her a refund. And what's so funny is the boy said that he was trying to throw a carnival and he needed, the lollipops.
Yeah, he needs the lollipops.
Well, that doesn't sound like a Dum Dum idea. That
I don't think
sounds like a
so
great
either.
idea.
We got a favorite flavor of Dum Dum?
I don't care.
Watermelon, probably.
Okay.
The watermelon is really good.
Yeah.
It's the one I normally go for.
They're the perfect size.
Yeah.
I love Dum Dums.
I like the strawberry.
You got to make quick work of them though, because that paper stick really gets nasty.
See, I like
The more
buying
you
because
suck
you
on it.
can get a whole bunch of them. Our admin assistant up front, she's amazing. Keeps the best snacks up
Judy?
there. Judy.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out
She
Judy.
takes
Bless her
such
heart.
good care of us. Even when she's not here, you can just swing by and get something.
She gets really good snacks.
Yeah.
I think there's some right now.
Shout out to Judy. We love you.
Thanks, Julie.
We'll see you later this morning.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
She replenishes the snacks every morning.
No, snacks are important. So again, you may need some snacks as we go through today, especially with the. I feel like rainy days. That's a pretty good snack day.
It is.
Snack and nap day. So
snack and nap.
Yes,
Okay.
you snack and then you nap.
I like it.
Right? No? Okay. Well,
No?
I guess it's just me.
No,
Whatever.
I'm with you.
Okay. Well, I guess it's just me. That's okay. We are looking at scattered rain and thunderstorms moving in later on this afternoon, all thanks to the colliding sea breezes. And the rain chances remain high as we go through the rest of the week. So you'll need that umbrella. Don't put it in the house. Keep it in the car. And then we're looking at those high rain chances lasting into the weekend. So that beneficial rain, that measurable rain we have been searching for, it is here. So as we take a look at the setup for today, we do have an upper level trough that is hanging over central Florida, so that's going to keep things unsettled. Looking at some rain over southeast Louisiana, but that's not going to do much as it continues to move eastward. But this area of low pressure over northern Texas will have to watch closely. That will be associated with a warm front that's going to move eastward towards Florida tomorrow, and that's what's going to increase our rain chances between 60 to 70% with some downpours possible. Radar scan here, nice and quiet, not tracking any rain quite yet, but tracking some mild temperatures before you head out the door. We're at 72 in Claremont, Orlando at 69, 68 in Daytona Beach, and 67 in Palm Coast. So your hour-by-hour forecast looks fine. We'll see a mix of sunshine and clouds through the morning. We're at 78 around 10. Rain chances go up around noon to 20%, and we're in the lower 80s, and then hitting a daytime high of 90 degrees this afternoon, so it will be toasty. So as I take a look at the timing here, rain chances will be at that 40% range from 2 lasting into tonight. On and off showers. It's not going to rain all day, and a few embedded thunderstorms are possible, which could produce heavy rain at times, so watch out for that. Forecast highs, we're at 90 in DeLand, Sanford, 85 in Daytona Beach, 84 in Cocoa Beach, and 84 in Melbourne. So as I take a look at your clouds and rain forecast, we're looking at those showers and thunderstorms firing up around the 2-3 o'clock hour, and then around 5 along the I-4 corridor, we'll have the best shot for that scattered rain. As the night progresses, we'll continue to see a few isolated showers and a few thunderstorms, and then tonight we're looking nice and dry under partly cloudy skies. As we take a look at the rainfall potential here, this is through tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. We're looking at a little over 1/4 inch in Orlando, Leesburg, Sanford, and Kissimmee. We're looking at those lower amounts along our coastline. So here's a look at your 7-day, 90 today. 40% chance for rain, 91 on Wednesday. Rain chances stay high all week, but look at this, heading into the weekend, at least our temperatures will be a little bit cooler. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
All right, I know we've been talking about this for quite some time, but it's going to affect a lot of people. Southbound Florida Turnpike, aka State Road 91. As you're traveling southbound, there is a crash close to I-4 and the Florida Turnpike, but it's already affecting traffic close to the Turnpike and State Road 408. So way over here towards the Turkey Lake Service Plaza. So we are bumper to bumper all the way through. Please increase your following distance through this area because I do not need a secondary crash. This crash is blocking a left travel lane there. They are in the process of picking this up based off of what we're seeing. Looks like we're starting to get traffic moving. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. The time is now 7:23, a milestone for a Lake County deputy injured in a deadly ambush.
At the bottom of the hour, the celebration he received after returning to the job.
But first, if you plan on buying flowers for Mother's Day, get ready to spend a little more, how tariffs are impacting bouquet prices and what you can do to save. Whether it's Mother's Day, graduation, or weddings, many people turn to flowers for gifts.
This year, though, those flowers could cost you a bit more. That's because about 80% of flowers bought in the U.S. are grown elsewhere, and that likely means they're subjected to a tariff. According to the Society of American Florists, last year, the U.S. imported $2.2 billion worth of cut flowers and greenery, the bulk from South America.
Just get her a ring instead.
Yeah, for sure. Still to come on News 6 Mornings, a deadly scene down in South Florida.
A man and his dog killed in an apparent bear attack. Coming up, what wildlife workers are doing this morning in hopes of preventing any other injuries.
Plus, new clues in a shooting that left a Sanford teen badly injured. The video just released by police as they work to make an arrest. You're watching News 6 Mornings. Stay with us.
Live with ClickOrlando.com. You're watching News 6 Mornings.
A good Tuesday morning. I'm News 6 meteorologist Michelle Morgan. It's now 7:28. We're off to a mild start across Central Florida and dry. We're at 72 in Leesburg and Claremont. Good morning. Orlando at 69. Daytona Beach at 68 and 70 degrees in Titusville. As we take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast, it's a pleasant start. We're at 78 around 10. A mix of sunshine and clouds. Rain chances going up to 20% around noon, 40% later on today with a high of 90. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Michelle. Things not looking that great out there this morning. Southbound Florida Turnpike slowly getting better. We're just hoping we don't get a secondary crash. So they've cleared the lanes, everything off to the right-hand side, southbound there at I-4. Now we're just watching the delay up by the Turkey Lake Service Plaza. Look at that. Lanes doing much better at the 259, which is a good thing. And then your speeds much higher than they were. We were down to 45 miles an hour within that area. The news continues next. Remember, get updates on our big stories anytime over at ClickOrlando.com.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AK Certified Roofing. Live with ClickOrlando.com. You're watching News 6 Mornings.
Time now is 7:30. Let's get a check of our top stories. Sanford police hoping new video will help them finally catch suspects who opened fire on a 17-year-old girl, shooting her in the head. The violence happened right in the middle of a neighborhood on Scott Drive back in April of last year.
Opening statements are set for this morning at the trial of former Brevard County teacher Carly Anderson. She's accused of disorderly intoxication after an alcohol-fueled house party with teenagers earlier this year.
And starting tomorrow, if your license isn't Real ID compliant, you won't be allowed to fly. Florida's in good shape, though, when it comes to converting people's IDs, but many other states are lagging way behind.
All right, let's turn now to the weather. You know, we had some severe storms in parts of Central Florida last night, and there could be another chance for some bad weather later on today.
But rain is rain, and we need it. So let's get a check of that weather with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Obviously, we don't want something super severe, Michelle.
Of course.
But we do need the rain.
Yeah,
so.
we need a good soaking rain. Some of us, we've been getting that, but a few thunderstorms are mixed in. But for today, the severe weather threat is fairly low, so that's great news. Dry start, rain chances go up later on today, so you won't need the umbrella now, but you'll need it later on this afternoon. But before the rain moves in, it's going to be a hot day with highs in the 90s, and we're looking at rain chances staying elevated through the rest of the week heading into the weekend. As we take a look at your current temperatures here, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach in the upper 60s, milder in Melbourne and Mico at 70, Orlando, good morning, you're at 69, Claremont and Leesburg at 72, and as we head out to Wildwood at 68 degrees. So as to take a look at your planner, we're in the lower 70s here in the next hour, upper 70s around 10, mix of sunshine and clouds. Rain chances will slowly begin to go up around noon, eventually getting to that 40% mark. On and off showers, not going to rain all day, and then hitting a daytime high of 90 degrees in Orlando. Now, normally we're in the upper 80s. We will exceed that today in many spots, 90 in DeLand, Sanford, 92 in the Villages, and 86 degrees in Palm Coast. So more rain is on the way, not just today. Of course, we'll talk more about that coming up in a bit. But now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
We're doing much better along the Florida Turnpike southbound here. When I say better, I mean at the actual crash scene itself. So southbound at the Turnpike at the 259, the lanes are moving again. So all those lanes were kind of slow. They were heavily blocked there, but now you can see here doing much better. That slowdown really moving up there quick as you make your way up towards Turkey Lake and even the 408. So give it about, I think, about 15 minutes and we're gonna look pretty good. I-4 Champions Gate. I never compliment construction that much, but this is great. East and westbound lanes, no issues. All those the two new lanes really helping us out. Gets back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Big new developments this morning in a shooting that left a 17-year-old girl badly hurt in Sanford. Police put out some new video of the violent scene more than a year after the crime, hoping it'll help them get results and track down the suspects. News 6's Mark Lehman joining us now live with more on this. And Mark, this all happened right in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah, you saw it in the video. It was still daylight, and one of the victims was just standing in the driveway when the bullets started flying. It's a disturbing sight, and Sanford police want everyone to take a look to help them make an arrest.
It's dramatic video Sanford police hope will lead to an arrest in a year-long shooting investigation. Detectives releasing footage showing a victim running for her life as bullets hit the ground on Scott Drive. The gunfire coming from a red SUV, which investigators say had 4 people inside, and 3 of them were later seen getting out of the vehicle at an apartment complex. 2 were injured in the shooting, including a 17-year-old girl who was shot in the head. Back when it happened, investigators said they believe the shooting may have been retaliation for a shooting that injured a 16-year-old boy hours earlier. At the time, Sanford police were investigating a rash of shootings. Days before the drive-by, 10 people were hurt in a mass shooting at the Cabana Live event venue near Lake Monroe. A few weeks earlier, 17-year-old Cedarian Cosby was killed along Scott Drive and Ellen Place, roughly the same area where the drive-by happened.
Now, when it comes to the drive-by, investigators say they tracked down the SUV and are pursuing leads, but they also need help in identifying the shooter in this case. Anyone with details about the people who are inside that SUV is urged to call police. For now, reporting live in Sanford, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thanks. Well, this former local high school football star is set to face a judge in just hours. He's accused of shooting and killing a man during a fight at a DeLand bar. 24-year-old Avante Williams was booked into jail yesterday. Police say he was the gunman who shot 32-year-old Kashad Harris several times at McCabe's bar in North Amelia Avenue Saturday. A bartender who tried to step in and help was also shot in the hands.
When emotions are high, you don't have good intentions, put your guns down. Bringing a gun to a fist fight is not a solution, and once that trigger is pulled, it cannot come back.
We did some digging into Williams, and this is a picture from DeLand High School in 2020 when he was signed onto the Miami Hurricanes. He most recently played for Maryland, but is now being held without bond on second-degree murder charges.
Happening today, closing arguments expected in the resentencing trial for two men convicted in the infamous Deltona Xbox murders. Troy Victorino and Jerron Hunter killed 6 people in 2004. They were sentenced to death, but changes in state law gave their attorneys a chance to argue for life in prison instead. Victorino's defense rested yesterday after testimony from his mother.
And in order for me to have peace of mind, I had to stay as far away from those things as I could. He got spanked, yeah. He got disciplined by my husband with a belt. And yes, the buckle hit him in the neck.
Both defense teams and the state have all rested their cases. The decision will be handed to the jury after closing arguments.
This morning, wildlife workers are doing DNA testing to determine if a bear they captured is the one responsible for killing a man and his dog near Naples. The attack happened yesterday in a rural area near the 89-year-old victim's home. The man's daughter says she called for help when she witnessed the bear attack the dog, but then she found that her father had also been killed. Authorities spent the day searching for the bear responsible and say they later shot and killed a bear in the area.
This is where FWC officers excel. This is what we're trained for. We had a plan in place for this.
Officials say the bear has been transported to Gainesville for testing, but they also say they're not sure if more than one bear may be responsible.
A group of veterans has been hitting golf balls near the fairgrounds in Orlando for decades now. But a few months ago, these signs showed up. You can see it. No hitting golf balls, City of Orlando logo down at the bottom, and that breaks decades of tradition and camaraderie. So the guys called News 6's Matt Austin and knew this morning Matt went to get answers.
How many guys in this group are veterans? Raise your hand.
For more than 30 years, this group of elderly veterans has gotten together to improve their shot and shoot the breeze.
I got the best swing.
We got the best. Actually, got the best game. That would be me.
My wife knows where I'm at.
Nicknames like Wiggle Hand, Fatback, and Captain Joe have turned this empty field into something of a sanctuary.
We share information about benefits. We share information about workshops that's coming up that's going to help veterans. So we do more than just play golf.
But there's a notable absence now, the ball.
How'd you feel when you came out here the next day and the sign was here?
Very disappointed in the people that's in charge.
The guys say someone outside their group in February started hitting balls toward the fairground buildings. The police were called. The golfer trespassed. The next day, these signs were up. But these golfers say it wasn't them.
It looks like it was a setup. The guy had never been here before, hadn't been back since. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
It's disrespectful.
Former News 6 photographer T. Taylor called me about this story.
If anybody could speak on behalf of us, Matt Austin could. That's right. So that's why we're here, to try to get some results.
So I looked into it. This lot is owned by the city of Orlando, but the fairgrounds uses the land too as overflow parking. Both the city and the fairgrounds told me there have been several complaints about damage to vehicles, contractor equipment, and office windows. And that was before the other golfer was trespassed in February. Matt Austin, News 6.
Boy, I wish I could play with them. They look like a lot of fun. The group hopes the city will eventually take those signs down and let them golf again. Here's the thing, though. The city seems set in its decision. The guys have been getting together at a different spot over at Barnett Park. They say it's harder there because that area is more active.
Yeah, it's hard to find those spaces, with a lot of land where you can do a little bit of hitting there. So I hope they find a new spot. But Michelle, for those heading out maybe to do some golfing or some activities outdoors, now's the time, right?
No. Yes, now is the time. Now is the time, Krista.
Now's the time. Hurry.
Yes, if you have any outdoor plans this morning, at least the first half of the day will be nice and dry and not too hot. But later on today, the heat will turn up. We're looking at 90s across Central Florida, and then the rain chances go up as well. But before we get to that, here's what we're looking at right now. We're in the upper 60s and lower 70s across Central Florida, so nice and comfortable. Not tracking any rain, but check this out. A viewer sent in this picture of the sunrise this morning. This is over the St. Johns River, over by East Palatka, and this This was sent in by Jim Bailey. Of course, you can send in your weather pictures as well on clickorlando.com/pins, and we'll feature it. But really just a beautiful shot there. I love that. Now for the rest of today, we're looking at a pretty nice forecast. And then this is beneficial rain. We certainly need it, as we've been talking about it for the past month. We're in the upper 70s at 10. Rain chances go up at noon. 40% chance later on this afternoon, hitting a daytime high of 90. Now, rain chances stay high all week. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit. But now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
All right, our delays on the turnpike are now just going to be back to routine stuff. Things looking pretty good out here. The lanes all moved over to the side, east and westbound along I-4. Also fairly kind of routine at this point. Those delays that were over by Turkey Lake Service Plaza over the left side of your screen, no longer there. What is there is those eastbound delays on I-4 by 535. So this is kind of that last portion of where the extension will be. Guess what? At some point, there will be express lanes that run right through here. Now, yesterday out on patrol, we took it nice and easy out where the new congestion extension lanes have been put in over in Champions Gate, I-4 east and westbound. We took results 1 out there and just cruised along those lanes. It was nice because, man, I haven't been out there in quite some time to where you could just drive the speed limit and not have to touch your brakes. It's the first time. Looks like I think Tampa's going to get a little bit more visitation from the city of Orlando in our area. All right, today we're going to be doing work zone safety, so kind of keeping with the vibe of that area. State of Florida just wrapping up work zone safety, so we're going to hit the road and we're going to talk about it. Guys, back to you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Steve. 7:42 now. A preservation plan is stirring up some legal trouble in one local city.
Coming up, why developers say it goes too far. Plus, need more space without breaking the bank. How a new program is making it easier to add a backyard home in Orange County.
First, though, a driver's sudden stop in the middle of a busy highway sparks a chaotic chain reaction. Trooper Steve will break down what went wrong and what you need to know next.
It is time for Ask Trooper Steve, where I get to answer some of the questions that you send in to me. Now, I hope that I would have never had to see something like this again, and yet it has happened. And they're asking me, have you seen that video of the Ohio driver causing that pileup and leaving the scene? Can they be held liable? I have seen this video, and if you haven't, check this out right here. So this minivan just stops in the middle of the interstate here and causes this huge pileup, sending cars kind of just all over the place. Then the driver just puts it in drive and drives away. Now, I've only seen this occur here in Central Florida one time, many, many years ago, and I worked that crash. If you watch what happens here, this is immediately improper, impeding the flow of traffic. So obviously they were trying to exit here to this exit ramp. I get it if you make a mistake, but this right here, that driver would so be liable for that under so many different levels. Like, I am not an attorney. I am as low as it comes on the law side of things, and just right in the crash investigation side. This person would be highly highly involved in a crash like that. Glad everyone, from what I understand, at least made it out okay. If you got a traffic safety question, you want me to answer it, head on over to clickorlando.com/AskTrooperSteve.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. It's a new way to add living space without the high cost.
Yeah, from first-time home buyers to those looking to add some rental properties, a new program in Orange County called Ready Set Orange is offering more space at an affordable price. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez joining us live with more on this. So how will this program get results for neighbors, Stephanie?
Justin, Crystal, Orange County worked with architects to craft designs for residents to help them create potentially their forever home for less.
This hallway connects to the master bedroom.
After 21 years in his Orange County home, Camilo Betancourt is building an accessory dwelling unit, or ADU, in his backyard.
We have the kitchen over here in this area.
The small independent living space is for his parents, who will soon retire.
And this will be an affordable option for them and for you to have them close right here, right?
Sure, yeah, because rent is expensive.
His ADU is the first Ready Set Orange home built. Orange County started the program to increase its affordable housing inventory.
What we've tried to do is look at townhomes, look at accessory dwelling units, look at duplexes and triplexes to make sure that the housing options and the housing diversity that we have in Orange County is suited to every single person coming to Orange County or living in Orange County for a long period of time.
Because many people wanted ADUs but didn't know how to start, the county did the first part for them by creating pre-designed floor plans, which reduced costs and cut down on the time needed for permitting.
We went through numerous rounds of reviews and permitting to essentially try to speed up and make that process a lot more streamlined.
This is just one of the first ADUs we'll see here in the county, as hundreds of people have already submitted applications to begin the process.
While residents cover the construction cost, it can still be a cheaper way to keep family close or add a rental property.
I mean, they have the opportunity to build this in the backyard. Probably it's more affordable than pay rent.
And it's not just backyard ADUs that they have floor plans for. They also have floor plans for small single family homes, which can be a more affordable option for someone looking to create their starter home perhaps, or potentially their forever home. Now, since they started this program back in the summer, they've already had more than 350 applications. As we saw, that's the first one that's now come to construction, but I'm told that a lot of them already are in the permitting phase, so we'll be seeing them pop up here in the county really soon. I have all of the information right here on Click Orlando about how you can get your hands on some of those floor plans to start building your own. Reporting live in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Super interesting. Thank you, Stephanie. A Lake County deputy back on the job a little over 9 months after he was shot multiple times in an ambush. The sheriff's office posted on social media that Deputy Stefano Gargano returned to work this week in a light-duty role, calling it a great day for the agency. Gargano was one of 3 deputies shot during that ambush last August, an attack that killed Master Deputy Bradley Link and also wounded Deputy Harold Howell, who is still recovering. The woman accused of luring the deputies to the home was recently found competent to stand trial. Her husband and 2 adult daughters took their own lives the night of the attack.
A group of developers are fighting back against preservation efforts in one part of Volusia County. The city of Deltona is now facing a lawsuit over its Keep Deltona Wild plan. It limits the development in the southeast part of the city, but a dozen landowners sued, saying they had plans to develop it.
We are having problems with flooding in our city. We're having problems with overcrowding at our schools, and our roads simply can't handle the pressure of all those new residents that we're importing.
There will still be several public hearings before any new land zoning ordinances are adopted. We also reached out to the attorneys who filed the lawsuit, but have not heard back.
Decades after Star Wars first hit the big screen, the legendary franchise is still influencing kids, including some from Minnesota who are embracing their inner Jedi. So these elementary school students here learning some life lessons through lightsaber fencing. It's part of an after-school program. And while the force is strong here, the lesson's even stronger. Trainers saying that it teaches self-restraint, patience, connection, and don't worry, I know you're very concerned, but no real lightsabers were used here. Just those foam noodles for safety with some duct tape, look like, to make them a little heavier.
It teaches respect.
Well,
nothing's more
like
humbling
Justin,
than getting hit by a pool noodle.
I like how Justin said it teach some of y'all a life lesson.
Watch out.
Real quick.
Yeah.
There it is. That'd kind of be fun.
I like it. I like that. I like dodgeball too. Back in elementary school, you know, you target the person who's been picking on you a little bit. And you're like,
No, I used to be a beast in all those things.
Yeah?
That's why I'm quiet.
She's like, I'm just waiting. Someone's gonna get messed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, looks good.
I always rooted for those days though, when in school, like the inside recess days.
Yes, those are the best days. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, you know, it might be an inside day for many of us here across Central Florida, but that won't be until later on this afternoon, because rain chances are in the forecast, which is great. We need the rain. So here's what you need to know. So for today, it's a dry start. We're looking at rain chances going up later on this afternoon, and a few embedded thunderstorms are possible. The rest of the week, rain chances remain relatively high, and we're going to keep those rain chances high into the weekend. So a daily dose of good soaking rain across Central Florida. So that's going to help with the drought situation. Great. As we take a look at the satellite and radar imagery, we have an upper level trough that is hanging over the state. That's going to keep things unsettled, and then we get the sea breezes going right along that boundary is where we'll find the scattered rain later on this afternoon. But drawing your attention to this weather system here over northern Texas, area of low pressure, that'll continue to move eastward towards us as we go through the next 48 hours, associated with a warm front. That warm front is expected to move through tomorrow, again keeping those rain chances high. So more rain in the forecast tomorrow as well. But for now, it's a dry start. We're starting off in the upper 60s and lower 70s here across the metro area. Very nice outside. And taking a look at your out-the-door forecast here, featuring Sophie. What a good girl. Look at her smiling over there. She's from Howie in the Hills. And of course, you can send in your pet photos here into me, and I'll feature it during the show. But this was sent in by Melanie C. on clickorlando.com/pins. Gorgeous dog there. So if you are planning on taking the dog out for a walk, we're looking good through the morning. Rain chances go up to 20% around 1, and they'll continue to go up through the rest of the day. It's going to be a hot day. We're looking at 80s and 90s across Central Florida. If you're thinking about watering your garden today, you're looking good for the next couple of days, because we're going to get a good amount of soaking rain across Central Florida. So timing things out here. Closer to the 2-3 o'clock hour, we'll see showers and storms fire up along the I-4 corridor. That's going to continue through much of the day, and then looking drier as we head into tonight, and tomorrow will be a dry start to our morning. There's a look at your 7-day. 90 today, 40% chance for rain, 91 tomorrow, and rain chances stay high all week. Now it's time to check on those roads. Here's Trooper Steve.
Things kind of slow out here right now. If you're out towards I-4 and kind of the downtown area. So please be careful between there and all the way west towards the turnpike. So a decent stretch here. Traction's really slowing down. No major crashes though. And then there's some lingering construction. So all the crash on the turnpike has been cleared. Kissimmee, St. Cloud, you are good to go. Narcoossee, not too bad, but Pleasant Hill, very backed up this morning. Northbound. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. A scare in South Florida after a massive tree comes down during a weekend storm. The close call that has one homeowner counting his blessings.
A big cleanup is underway in South Miami after a powerful storm uprooted a tree, sent it crashing into a home and a car. It happened on Sunday, the tree damaging part of the house and burying a brand new vehicle. Yikes. Crews spent most of yesterday clearing debris as they waited for more looming storms. The road was back open by yesterday, but the tree still sits in the yard. Neighbors say they're relieved no one was hurt.
Newark Airport is entering its second week of chaos after struggling with massive flight delays and cancellations. United Airlines now canceling 35 flights a day, blaming staff shortages and air traffic control issues. The airline says a walkout by controllers last week and years of understaffing have made this situation worse. Experts say the problems are causing a ripple effect, affecting travelers nationwide as well as flights. The Department of Transportation says it'll announce a plan to fix air traffic across the board on Thursday. Michelle.
And we are off to a dry start to our morning, a mix of sunshine and clouds, but it's going to get hot today with a high of 90 in Orlando. Rain chances go up afternoon, so make sure you have the rain gear ready to go. On and off showers. It's not going to rain all day, and a few thunderstorms are possible. Look at this. We haven't seen this setup in quite some time. High rain chances all week, which is great. The drought situation, it's bad. So we need the rain, and the rain is going to cool us down some as we head into the weekend. So great news there. Steve?
I think a lot of people looking at that going, wait, no, we've been asking for it, so it's showed up. I-4 looking pretty good this morning. This is going to be I-4 just west of John Young, out by Mall of Millennia. East and westbound lanes looking pretty good. No major crashes. Most of our mess of the morning has been cleaned up. Just watch out over those hot spots and increase your following distance. Let's have a good one.
Let's have one. All right. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our News 6 Plus app for your TV.
Hope you have a great day. See you.